Komatsu's Smart Construction webinar series. Today's webinar will be talking about the Komatsu IMC 2.0 dozer technology through our customer experiences. My name's Pat Munro. I'm the Business Unit Manager for Construction Dozers, Graders, Special Application and Government Business. Our agenda today, we are going to be discussing the IMC 2.0 range, the 5 IMC dozer models, the IMC 2.0 features at a high level, then our customer experience with Entricon Civil in Victoria, some contractors in New South Wales. And then at the end, we'll have a live panel with Sam, the Operations Manager from Entricon Civil, and Aidan McPherson from McPherson Contractors. First of all, our one series, looking at our IMC 1 series dozers, these dozers range from an 18.5 tonne to a 24 tonne size. You can see that they're basically the same, just one's bigger than the other. Now these 1 series machines, they're a hydrostatic drive with a super slant nose and a pat blade only. They have the cooling pack at the rear, allowing the cabin to be moved forward, putting the operator into a more comfortable central position for better vision and comfort. These are generally used on project type work and final trimming. As you can see on the D61, we have 2 models, the EX, which has a 3.25 metre blade, 610 shoes, and then the PX has a wider blade at 3.86 metres and 860 shoes for lower ground pressure. Our D71 model, we have 3 models in this range. First of all, the EXI, a 3.8 metre blade with 610 shoes. The PXI has a 4 metre blade width, and in this model we have our 3M folding blade, which has been really helpful because you can fold the blades to under 3 metres so you can float them around and not require a pilot, which saves costs for your transport from site to site. This model has a 760 wide shoe. Then we also have a PXI-24 wide, which is our very wide undercarriage and wide blade at 4.3 metres wide blade and 915 shoes, which gives us a very low ground pressure machine. Interestingly, approximately 70% of the Australian construction market utilise this 18 to 24 tonne size machine. Our D71 model falls right into this class with the highest power to weight ratio, making it a great package. Then I'd like to go on to our 5 series range. And as you can see here, starting with the D65 model, and then the D85 and the 155. These all have these 3 models all have torque converter drive and external push arm blades only, ranging from 23 tonne to 42 tonne. They're generally used for bulk heavy duty work with the ability to cut or fill to design first time every time. They have a low track undercarriage system that gives approximately 1/3 less wear. The cabin is also able to be put into a lower position to give the operator a more central position for better vision and more comfort during the rougher riding application. In the 5 series machines, the D65 model falls into that very popular 24 tonne range that the industry utilise. Sorry, the D65, we have 2 models. You've got the EX with a semi-U or the Sigma blade as an option at the 610 shoes. The PX is our low ground pressure machine with a straight tilt dozer blade and 915 shoes. The D85, we have 2 models here. The EX, again, it's a 30 tonne machine, semi-U blade or the Sigma as an option with 660 shoes. Our PX is a slightly lighter machine with a straight tilt dozer and the 915 shoes for low ground pressure. Those 2 units have the IMC 2.0 technology. A D155AXI-8 is IMC 1.0. It's the D155AXI-8. It's a 42 tonne machine. Semi-U blade, the Sigma is an option, or you can have the rear rippers with single joint ripper or multi-shank ripper on 610 shoes. Moving forward to some of the IMC features that I'd like to just touch on. First of all, the proactive dozing control. This allows your green operator to operate like a pro. When the operator tracks the machine over an area to be stripped, levelled or filled, the dozer records that as-built surface. From this, the operator can fill or strip material like a pro, as you can see here in our visual. The machine on the right has an inexperienced operator with a 2.0 turned on, and he can work very smoothly. On the other side, it's a manually operated machine, and it's, depending on their experience, you can get sort of waving. So proactive allows a green operator to operate very skillfully. The tilt steering control, when the operator's in heavy cutting application, the dozer will tend to pull left or right depending where the load is. With the tilt steering control, the dozer will tilt the blade without going below the design surface to help maintain the straight travel, as you can see in the visual. The next feature that I'd like to discuss is the lift layer control. This automatically spreads the fill from existing terrain and measures the terrain as it tracks over that plane, and also plans the next pass to maximise the compaction material. The quick surface creation, it's a two-step process. The operator puts the blade on the ground, then they'll press the shortcut button and OK. That'll create a temporary design surface. This allows the operator to strip or spread material whilst waiting for a surface model to work to. Now we'll cross over to our video and hear from our customers. Thanks, Anna.
G'day, my name's Sam Spicer. I'm the Operations Manager for a company called Entricon Civil. Entricon Civil's been around for 20 years, mainly a civil-based company working in the water space, doing lots of wetlands, civil construction. Behind us here is our new Komatsu D71, featuring the Intelligent Machine Control 2.0. We're at one of our sites in Melbourne today. This site's got a waterway, 2 wetlands with it, and some noise walls. The dozers here have been instrumental in the clay filling, topsoiling and trimming of the wetlands. For us, adding the D71 was a no-brainer. Its large size means it can push bulk fill, move plenty of fill for the day, but it's also got the capabilities of being able to do final trim. The technology in this machine makes it much easier to train up new operators. Someone that doesn't have as much experience can be nearly final trimming as an operator that's been driving a machine for a very long time. For me as the operations manager, the intelligent machine control means that I can sit back in my office and see what the machine's been doing for the day. I can see what it's been pushing, where it's been pushing, fuel consumption. I can even see if the operator's been wearing their seatbelt. One of my favourite features on this machine is the tilt steering control, which allows the operator to push a windrow out while the machine just keeps a straight track the whole time. It means less fatigue for the operator, and also has an automatic lift function, which is just a one push on the screen, and we can lift a layer of material as we go as well, which makes things nice and easy and layers are getting put down to the correct levels. With Komatsu's Smart Construction Support Centre, we can ring them up, get help straight away. They can even jump online, put it on our computer, fix any plans we're having problems with, and tell us about any issues we're having in it. We can fix them on the spot, which makes a huge benefit to our company. For Entricon, bringing this new technology into the company has been fantastic. We can see exactly where the machine's going, we get a reading back in the office, working with Komatsu's Smart Construction platform as well. We get a 3D model every single day of what we've done and where we're going, and we just keep pushing forward every day knowing we're heading in the right direction.
Now we're going to cross over to New Zealand to hear from our customers, McPherson's, and their experiences with their IMC dozers.
I'm Bob Hasty. I'm one of the 2 current workshop managers here at McPherson Contractors out of Matamata. In 1997, McPherson Contractors was formed, and we've been in business here in Matamata and the Greater Waikato and the Bay of Plenty since. The main work that McPherson's do is a lot of this work that we've got here is subdivisions. We do a lot of rural contouring.
This is a subdivision just on the outskirts of Matamata. It's about a 45 lot subdivision. It's a cut and fill process to get the sections up to height.
So this is McPherson's second IMC2 dozer. It's D61 PXI-24, the latest in Class 2 technology.
We've always needed an extra dozer, and we're taking on some bigger jobs now that needed a bit bigger machine, so it just goes well with our two D51s as well.
So the new dozer was purchased not only for here but for our ongoing work. Looking to the future, we found that we needed to have another mid-range IMC dozer. We've chosen to go with Komatsu because Stephen McPherson, the boss, he had the product since the late 90s. He's had Komatsu ever since. The product is good, and we found that now with the IMC machines it's giving us a competitive advantage, and especially when we combine it with the smart construction and the drone survey.
The tractor and scoops place the dirt in layers, and then the dozer's doing the trimming, the final trimming, so that's where it's mostly used for all the final trimming and prepping of the roads and subgrade.
When they push a lot of material in front of the blade and the machine drift to one end, the steering on it, say drift to the left, the steering tilt will look in on the left and then force the machine straight, so it pushes in a straight line.
What we've found as well is it's taking a lot of rework out of it. We're finding we're doing things once and doing it right. And it's also helping with the new guys coming through with less experience. It's just helping them pick up a bit quicker.
We chose to go with IMC because we find that we can take just average operators and make them into good operators, and that there's a competitive efficiencies there, and we're finding that we can reduce our costs quite considerably.
Yeah, we've found it's hard these days to get experienced operators with final trim skills, so with the IMC it's just helping the new generation come through and get a real fine final trim with with a bit less experience.
Mostly by in conjunction with the IMC with the 3D modelling, that we find that when we import materials we can put it exactly where it's going to go, and when we're excavating we can take it to where it needs to go next, and therefore only touching everything once. The benefits for us is just that competitive advantage. We find that just most of our operators now can come into a site and just go straight to it. They level off quick, they can do it at speed.
We use the drone application quite a bit with smart construction. We use it a lot for our estimation and pricing and calculating volumes and that sort of thing. So that's one thing we're going to get into a bit more of.
Today I'll be doing a drone survey for McPherson. I do that mainly once a month for them, and they calculate volume between the last month and this month's for the end of the month claims.
And that gives us a good look at everything that's on any site, and know where we've got to do most of our work.
I'm not sure, but I don't even think that Stephen get any surveys these days on site. It's between the drone surveys and the machines. Only survey cost alone will save him a ton of money. We also have a quick surface creation, so that's quite a neat feature.
So the quick surface creation is one thing we use quite a lot with all our machines, the IMC machines. Sometimes on site the design might not work on site, we may need to adapt on site, so we can punch in a flat plane or a 1% crossfall, and it helps with the environmentals and that sort of thing. If we need drains to fall to the right places, it just helps. Yeah, the remote access is really good because sometimes we find ourselves in the office away from the site at times, and the guys ring up with a problem. We can remote in and see what they're doing, see what the issue is. We can do that from the office and not have to go out to site, so that's really handy.
We see the IMC as the way to the future.
We run the best dozers in the world.
And we're trying to be efficient and productive in what we do, so we can offer a good result for the clients that we have.
Thanks. Getting some feedback there, Anna. No, all good. Thanks, Aidan and Sam, for joining us there today.
That's right.
Ask you guys a couple of questions from a customer's point of view. In your video, you mentioned that the IMC makes it a little bit easier to onboard some new dozer operators. How have you found that the IMC product has helped you here?
Oh, well, it makes a massive difference to us. You know, the guys can pretty much final trimming nearly straight away, especially with the auto function on. You know, things putting levels down to the correct level. You know, the machine's pretty much driving itself with level wise to keep things going at a good rate. Everything's going in, levels are going in at the right depths. Then it's only then the operator then just has to concentrate on where the dirt's going. It's pretty much the only thing they've got to worry about. So it's mainly gives them so much more confidence to know that they're putting in straight away, they're doing the right stuff, they're trimming correctly. They just keep, you know, they just get more and more confidence so much quicker, we've been finding.
Yeah, okay. And Aidan, have you had a similar experience in New Zealand?
Yeah, I would largely agree with that. We've onboarded guys that have never driven a dozer before, and like Sam says, they're straight away doing the final trim, and like all of that concentration that they would otherwise be putting into that, they can put into working out how to attack the job so that they can do it more efficiently, and that's far better use of their time and their thinking than where's the level and am I getting this flat and smooth. So it's it's hugely beneficial.
And Aidan, I noticed on the New Zealand video that there was some discussion around you can use these from bulk earthworks to final trimming. Do you find that this may allow you to potentially not have a grader on site? Can you use these machines for that function?
Yeah, well, we've largely not done a lot of our work with graders anyway. A lot of the final trim was actually was just done by eye with a motor scraper, and now there's far more expectation from engineers now that they're doing detailed designs that everything is within a smaller tolerance.
Mm-hmm.
So we're finding now that in the early days we were doing a lot more trimming with diggers, and we're actually able to get away from a lot of that now because it's painfully slow and trim everything with bulldozers. On a lot of the subdivision work that we do, house sites are too tight to even consider doing with a grader anyway. So the bulldozer is the perfect tool for the job, to work in small areas but still achieve the final grade quickly.
Yeah. And Sam, you similar or slightly different experience there?
Oh, no, very similar. We're finding it, an advantage is where we can use a larger dozer to trim with now. So where we would have, maybe a D51 at, what are they, 14 ton or whatever they are. And now we're using a 24 ton dozer to do the same sort of thing. So we're getting the bulk push out of them. We can push everything out of the way. And then final trim with those bigger machines now is with the IMC is just, they're trimming as good as the small dozers used to. So that's where our main difference is.
Excellent. I'll go to Sam first on here. As a rough percentage, sort of a feeling for how much of an efficiency improvement that the IMC may have been able to give you for your finishing of the job?
As a rough, it'd have to be at least 50% more efficient all the time. It's saving, someone checking it, especially with the smart construction side of it. I can get on the computer, check if they're at finished level, put it over a model straight away. So when they tell me that they've finished trimming something, I can check it straight away. So that's saving having not even just in machine costs, but it's saving you have someone on the ground, checking what's going on everywhere, making sure things are right. What I'm getting told are getting trimmed and are finished are, and especially, when it's trimmed and finished and, we get a big rain event and something gets flooded and you can't get on it for a while. We can just get back onto the laptop now and just check where the dozer's been and if that was at level and if we have to go back in there again. So it'd have to be at least 50%, Pat, if not more, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and Aidan, do you have a sort of a rough number there that would...
It's hard to put a rough number on it, but I think realistically, the biggest thing is that we're not, the guys aren't just getting it pretty close to, we used to use pegs, and you'd have to go around and check, and now we don't even need to bother with pegs. We know that the machine's been over it and it's been trimmed to grade, and you don't have to go back again, which is awesome. And like he was saying, if we get a bit of rain, then you don't want to be going back somewhere twice. That extra little bit of rework can sometimes cost you weeks of a project because everything's wet and you've got to try and fumble your way back into somewhere you've already been, and now you don't. So that's where the big savings are.
Excellent. Sam, on the video, you mentioned about the auto lift function when you're layering material out. I find that allows you guys to allow for the compaction on layers.
Yeah, it does, and mainly for the compaction layers. It's obviously, as the video says, it's a one touch. So when you put one layer in, just touch the button again, up you come again, another layer, and that's for different times for dirt. For our point of view, is how thick you can put it in for compaction and what you're doing depending on the material. So for that, it makes it so easy and perfect. Every single time we're getting consistent compaction readings because the dirt's going in at the same level all the time. So from the ground up, it makes it easier.
Yeah. And Aidan, when you get the dozers delivered to you to site, is it hard to have them set up to obtain accuracy?
No, it's generally just a 2-minute check. We have a post or a date and mark on the ground that's fixed for the duration of the job. We set that up when we set the site up, and the machine they check on it on it once a week, and we just carry on. So it really doesn't take any time out of your day or your week at all to check that it's right. After the initial setup of the base station, we run all of our sites off a base station because it's more reliable than the network in a lot of the rural areas we work in. So once that initial setup's done, there's really nothing to it.
Yeah. Sam, did you have anything in your experience in that space?
No, that's the same. We mainly run through the network on the jobs we are at the moment, though, with our dozers. But we're the same thing. It's just to check. We have a spot where the dozer can check every once a week, whatever it may be, and then every now and again in some tricky areas we might just get a rover out with it and check either side of the blade that we're right on target. And that might be a once a week thing as well, or just maybe a certain area, but very easy.
Yeah. Sam, there's on the machines with the 2.0, with your experience, have you seen an improvement with regard to working on slopes at quite steep batters and the like?
Definitely. Now having the dual antennas, that's making all the difference, really. So, it makes the setup easier. You're getting readings back much quicker now as well. The two antennas make the difference.
Yeah. And I got one final thing to discuss, I suppose. Aidan, with the advantage of these IMC components now being integrated into the machines from the factory, what sort of improvements or benefits has that given you as a company with these integrated systems?
Yeah, well, I guess we've got a few. We don't have any in the bulldozer fleet, but in the excavators we've got bolt-on aftermarket GPS systems. And the main problem you have is that there hasn't been the same level of thought go into, and it's not possible to protect and to integrate it quite as well as you can from the factory, which means there's just far more possibility for damage and for things not to work as they're supposed to. And so it's just nice. You just don't have things tacked on afterwards. It's all been thought about at the construction phase, and it's all protected and works as it should. And you only have one person to ring. You don't have to ring, this person for this component and that person for that component. But there's something wrong with your digger or your bulldozer, you ring Komatsu and they come out and sort it out.
Yeah, and Sam, I'll throw over to yourself as well with the integrated systems. How's that
Yeah,
benefit?
yeah. Well, the benefit for us is just the time saving in the morning, setting the machine up. You don't have to put all the antennas, receivers, everything on. It's ready to go. Theft is just another thing you don't have to worry about. And then the other major thing is you get a guy that's sick, doesn't turn up for a day, send him to another site, and he's got the GPS in his car. So you don't have that problem anymore. It's all there. So that machine works on that site and is ready to go.
Yeah, I noticed on your video your was just carrying the monitor. It was very easy to put on.
Yeah, really quick and simple to set up anyway. The monitor we take out, but it can stay on site quite easy. Where the antennas, you don't want to leave them on site for theft and so on. But it's very easy to set up.
Yeah. Well, thanks very much, guys. I'll just check with Anna to see if there's been any questions come in from the audience, and we can hopefully do our best to answer those. And if not, I can take some notes and get back to those people. But Anna, did you have any questions coming in?
Yeah, thanks, Pat. So as you said, we're going to go to some of the questions from the audience. Just a reminding everyone, you can still submit your questions in the panel box. So a question that's come through is, do you see any difference with the technology on the 1 version to the 2 version of the dozer?
For me, visually, I guess it's the twin antennas from IMC 1.0 antennas. Sam, have you got some thoughts in there initially?
Yeah, it's the same. The dual antenna makes a massive difference, and some of the new features that the one-touch lift control is really handy for filling, and all the other functions are so much better as well than the 1.0. It is just making life so much easier.
Yeah. I understand you guys have mainly 1.0 in your fleet, and you've recently had a 2.0 delivered. So have you seen anything in the early stages that's the difference in these two?
Not yet, but I'm looking forward to seeing what we can get out of it. We've mostly run more experienced operators and the new 2.0s that we've got. So I guess they're a bit more reluctant to use the new the features because they want to drive the machine themselves. So yeah, I'm interested to put someone in who doesn't have that experience and see what gains they can get from this machine functionality.
Excellent, terrific. Thanks, guys. Is there any further questions there, Anna?
Yeah, so another one is, can you give any information around the pricing of the dozers?
So generally what we do there is every application and requirement is slightly different, and the prices will vary accordingly. So what we'd like to do with the guys that are interested in that is certainly get our account managers to be in touch with you and come and have a discussion about your requirement and what you need, and set up a solution that's satisfactory for your application.
Okay, cool. So another question is the hardware still built by Topcon, and can other brands of hardware still be integrated?
So the answer, the now there is in the 1.0 there was a link with the Topcon, and the factory integrated, it's a Komatsu system, and I have seen dozers out there that have our IMC integrated technology on the machines and also an aftermarket system put on. So the answer to that, short answer is yes, it can be done. I have seen it personally.
Okay, cool. And another one I've received. So, guys, I think you've answered this a bit in your the videos, but the question is, COVID has changed the way we do business. Has the IMC dozer helped you guys with recruitment or any fluctuating staff numbers?
Well, from our point of view, with having new dozers and it's getting out a little bit on social media, you put a photo of it up, we're definitely getting more phone calls, people wanting to try these new machines. That's for sure. But it's also making it easier. We've just trained up a guy on the dozers from in our fleet that have been with us for a while, and they just wanted to change with dozers. They weren't predominantly dozer drivers to start off with. They were, driving excavator operators and so on, but they wanted to get on these machines. So our guys have been recruited up within, but we definitely had a little bit of, messaging and emailing and so on, trying to see if there's jobs available.
And Aidan, did you have anything?
Yeah, I think it's much the same. Just you can get guys with little or no experience in a bulldozer, and you can get some reasonable productivity out of them almost straight away. And like if you've got a good operator with an IMC machine, you can get so much done that you often don't need that extra machine on site to assist. So there's advantages there, being more productive. You need less people, which is, I guess, going to be helpful going forward. Keeps your costs down as well.
That's 100% the same for us as well.
Yeah, okay. Thank you very much, guys. Anna, back to you. If there's any more questions.
Yeah. Another question is, does Komatsu offer the hardware needed to run the machines, like base stations, etc.?
We certainly have a solution that we can give the customers in that space. Definitely, we get our smart construction teams, our TAs, to go to site and work out the best solution that fits them. Yes, for sure.
Oh, awesome. Okay, so that concludes the questionnaires in our webinar today. So thank you, Aidan and Sam, for joining us, and to everyone for attending. We hope you enjoyed the webinar. So if anyone had any other questions, there will be a survey coming out after this presentation, so feel free to send through questions there. An email will also come through about 24 hours where you're able to access the recording of this webinar. So thank you everyone for joining, and we hope you have a great rest of your day.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a good one.